And we're back live for another Win Daily NFL DraftCast. And this is the divisional round. We went wild card last week. And listen, we have some good revelations we have to speak of, each and every one of us, when it comes to this week. And as always, make sure you're following at Win Daily Sports. Make sure you're liking and subscribing to this channel, this stream, and all the other great content that we put out on a daily basis. And that includes Prize Picks that is nailing every single day. So again, NFL playoff time. Tony Gatto, Jason Mizrahi, Dave Gleckner. We're going to do something different tonight where we always build lineups, but we're going to be allowed to double up one guy. One guy. Each of us is going to be able to double up one guy, 4 games. It's going to be interesting. I think we're all going to be different anyway, but I think that doing it this way will add a little new flavor to it. But Jason, listen, before we even get to this, I played the clip earlier. I have to tell you, man, I'm not going to go on a rant.
You're right. Tony, you're right. I won't argue with you. The Eagles
hold on.
Terrible. Right. Dave, I agree with you now, too. They're terrible. Worst team. Shouldn't even be in the playoffs. Terrible defense. And all jokes aside, that was probably like the worst display of tackling I've seen. Like you purposefully try not tackling dudes. It was they gave up, man. They gave up. You guys saw it earlier than me. I thought there was chances, see A.J. Brown pulling out. He obviously pulled out early. He didn't want to be part of it. And to see them do what they did, that was a little bit – to get embarrassed by Baker and then, nothing against, Trey Palmer and more. If Evans goes off on you, contested, okay, he's a big dude. He catches touchdowns. But, just, running through wide lanes, it's really shitty way to end the season, man. Especially shitty way – to end Kelsey's career if that's how he goes out. He goes out on that kind of note, but maybe that inspires him to I can't leave like that. That was just gross. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't think it matters to him. I think when he's ready, he's ready. I don't think he's going to play again. But speaking of the other game, Dave, we talked about on this. We talked about Green Bay. We talked about Dallas. Me and Jason were on series. We had Meltzer go on, and he said they were going to choke. No doubt about it. The Cowboys are going to choke, and they did. They choked. But how about Green Bay? And we mentioned, I know I was one of them, and I know you guys agreed, Aaron Jones, man, was going to be the play of the day from the running back position. And that dude, when he is healthy, Dave, he is literally unstoppable, man. He really is.
Yeah, and I told you about Green Bay all year, and part of it is listen, look at coaching continuity. Matt LaFleur can coach. He won 13 games.
I was wrong.
4 years. And so, but 4 years in a row, 13 games. He has one off year. All of a sudden, the guy can't coach. But it's not as much him. It's love. And like you said, Aaron Jones, God, if you were a fantasy player season long, you probably wanted to, pull his hair out, seeing what he did last week. Where's that been all year? He has it. He's that special. They need to stop the A.J. Dillon experiment. They just do. They just need to and I know he was hurt that game. Don't get me wrong, but Aaron Jones needs the ball more. And he's a Cowboy killer.
He is, man. He is. And look, I talked about last week. He finally started to get healthy, man. And that was it. He wasn't healthy all year, and he finally started to get healthy. And you saw the burst, man. He's got one of the best bursts in the NFL. So, and speaking of running backs, listen, Derrick Henry looking for a new home. I really think what you just said, Dave, I look at that experiment. Let's bag the A.J. Dillon experiment, and let's get Derrick Henry out there on the Green Bay to try to win a ring. But a lot of stuff going on, a lot of coach moves. We could get into it all day, but what we want to get into is we want to make some money. We want to build some great lineups. And as always, WinDailySports.com. Make sure you're hitting the subscribe button. Make sure you're hitting the like button. And make sure you're getting over to the partner section of WinDailySports.com, where you can get all the partner deals that we have that you aren't affiliated with. And on top of that, projection miles, get into our Discord as well. And make sure, Jason, before we even came on, hit another prop tonight. The chef is cooking. He still doesn't want my name that I gave him, but the chef is cooking up some bets, man. He's doing well.
Don't. I didn't even know this. I'm focused and locked into the show, but looks like we go 2 for 2 today, too. Herbert Jones goes over. Mm-hmm. So big shout out to Ghost, too, man. I start with the prop model. That's where I start my research, and then dive in. The 2 other bets I didn't make, I think they've cashed too, but I didn't make them because these were the 2 prime ones. But NFL, I'll be honest, man, this week looks super, super tight as far as prop lines. I bet one thing so far. I put it up in the article. I will update this article as the week goes on. But Tone, I want to ask you. I'm going to put you on the spot for a question right now. This is not rehearsed. Put you on the spot, and I'm going to ask Dave a separate question. Put him on the spot after this one, so you guys be ready. Tone, at the highest prop yardage passing for the divisional round, all the quarterbacks. Who's got the highest number?
Now, I'll be honest with you. I have not looked. I have not looked at all. Okay. So who's got the highest? I will say, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I'm going to say Jared Goff.
I don't know how you got this right, but you surprisingly got it right.
Because you thought I was going to be biased.
But it's Tampa.
Yeah, I think I should have asked you that question. I messed up. I should have asked Dave that question, and he should have asked you like a different question. But yeah, surprising.
No, listen, I'm going to be honest. I literally just was going through my mind. It ain't going to be Allen. It's not going to be Mahomes. And I looked at Detroit going up against Tampa, and they throw a lot. So I was like, it's got to be Goff.
Yeah, Goff at 275, highest on the board. Dave, I think you know the answer to this question, but pretty ridiculous odds out there. Christian McCaffrey, you can get it at different spots. So you already know it, so I'm not even going to ask you. Tony, I'm going to ask you this question. No, you know it already.
No, I don't know what you were going to ask. I laughed.
I think you know. All right, I'll ask you then. Odds to score a touchdown. What is McCaffrey? The average in like all the different sites out there. What do you think it is?
One touchdown, and rushing.
Anytime touchdown. What's his anytime touchdown number?
Minus 340.
Yeah, I averaged it out to around 350. So I'm sure you saw that. Tone, one more question. See if I can stump you guys. You guys are too good. Lamar Jackson, rushing yardage prop.
Ooh.
It's a little bit higher, under, lower, higher on different sites, but average it out. What do you think it is right now?
I'm gonna say over 65.5.
See, I thought the number was high when I saw it. It's 50.
That's where I was
50.5.
Yeah.
I thought that was still a little bit high too. I thought he has a little bit more weapons this year. You want to attack maybe a little bit more through the air, but I was shocked to see it at 50.5.
Well,
the other thing
Houston's run defense is really good. So I do think there's a chance they're going to be using him on bootlegs. So I do think they're going to try and get him running.
Yeah, the only thing this is not
practice week though, right?
It looks like it.
Probable, questionable, somewhere in that area. He said he gave it a go today, and he's hoping to go out there. If he feels like he can be a difference maker, he's going to play. If not, he will sit it out. So I think he's leaning towards probable, but this is not shocking. Amon-Ra leads both the yardage prop and the reception prop. His yardage prop is sitting around 90.5, reception 7.5. He's at the top. The guys that follow Christian McCaffrey, anytime touchdowns, David Montgomery is the only other guy at minus 110, and then Gibbs and Josh Allen are at plus 100. So those guys are, the highest projected guys to actually score a touchdown, on the ground or through the air. And then Amon-Ra is going to have a big day as far as the sports books are looking. It's Goff to Amon-Ra. I was on Jameson Williams last week. I had him in a prop market. I had him in my lineups. And to see Josh Reynolds go out there and get like all these effing targets, I was sitting there like, why are they not there? And Jameson's on the field. He's on the field, but I guess the Reynolds revenge. Dan Campbell might have cooked it up a little bit more for him to play on that. And Reynolds had a big game, man. So, when I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But Williams' number is still low this week, and I'm kind of scared to double down after taking the beating last week. But interesting to see how that plays out. But the numbers are tight across the board right now. The only thing I bet so far is I threw down, $100 on Cade Otton right now. He was heavily involved. Granted, it was against the Eagles. They're terrible. We established that. But 28.5 receiving yards, pretty low. Everything else is like super high across the board. So nothing else that I jumped on, Tone. But Cade Otton, that's it for me. I'm ready to do this DraftCast. Tony said we're able to share at least one guy with each other, but that person can't be picked a third time. So it's a 4-game slate. There's a lot of different ways to build this thing, but let's see how we do it.
I'm ready, man. I'm ready. How about you, Dave?
I'm ready. Yeah, last week we did pretty good. And, I think we hit on a lot, but you talked about Aaron Jones. None of us drafted him last week. But I think when Jason and I got on Sirius, and I'm sure you did on Saturday night, we were dialed in on Aaron Jones. So, things change as the market changes. Things change as we get closer to game day. But some of the highlights last week, I had Puka, so he was the only one to score in the 30s that we drafted. Jay had Amon-Ra. Tone, you had some balance throughout, but Singletary was a good pick because a lot of people didn't play him against that Cleveland team. So we had a solid week. I'll say that much. And we're moving on to the next one. And if you're curious, I got a win by a little bit. And Njoku and Nakua were enough, even though Jersey Joe let me down.
Yeah, poor everybody down. Jersey Joe let everybody down, man.
I think he's done, right? Yeah,
no, he deserves a job, man. He's a better backup than most. He's probably a better quarterback than maybe 3, 4, 5 quarterbacks in the league right now, too. Like even starters. I think he's in the right system, he can flourish. I think if granted, if they had Nick Chubb, let's say, if their offensive line was healthy, if they didn't go against Stroud, maybe at home, that might be a different game. Amari Cooper couldn't even run down the field either. So outside of Njoku, he didn't really have many people to throw the ball that were, supremely talented. So I think he deserves a job 100%.
Yeah, we'll see. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be interesting to see. There's so much in the offseason. It's already starting today. I think I got some text when I was at basketball. McCarthy's coming back.
Yeah,
McCarthy's coming back. Sirianni's coming back.
You guys should be happy about that.
Oh, you got the Sirianni coming back?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
All right, 2 years.
Wasted move.
Eagles fan in 2 years.
Yep, wasted move.
You're just wasting a year.
Yep, that's all you're doing.
Yeah,
they did it before. They're going to do it again
because they want to be the puppet masters.
They can't.
Jones. That's like Keith McCarthy. I can be a puppet master.
Yep, 100%.
Jerry Jones kept Jason Garrett for 35 extra years, so he's going to hold on to McCarthy. Well, who knows whose fault that really is? That game was over super quick, and Dak and I don't know. It's got to be someone
you don't have to blame the coach, but the coach can get you there. After 3 12-win years, McCarthy should be going.
Yeah,
here's the problem with this year, and I think Tony, you see, there's 6 great coaching candidates out there. This is I wouldn't just fire him to go pick up nobody, but
you grab Belichick. You grab Belichick over everybody.
But Vrabel in a heartbeat.
No, I take Vrabel over everybody.
Yeah, same. He's my number one. And then I'm telling you right now, so this guy, this Ben Johnson out of Detroit, I think is a really good offensive.
Yeah, he looks like a stud.
A stud. And then Todd Monken, if he's interested, he made Baltimore great this year and was all in Georgia 2 years in a row. I mean, there's
you know what'll happen? Dave. This is the Philly way. They'll go to coordinator route and they'll give us that stiff Mike Kafka because he's got he's got some roots here. Mike Kafka.
Because he was here for.
And that's what we'll get because he's yeah, Jeffrey. No problem, Jeffrey. Whatever you want. No problem, Howie. Come on, man. Give me a break.
Yeah. Yeah. And look, JT chiming in. Washington could end up in the best spot. And I don't disagree. Not even Harbaugh. I mean, if the enemy they promote there, I mean, he looked like he was a little rough to some players, but give him a shot. He's better than what I saw on our offense. Oh my God. Dan Orlovsky and just follow him. He'll show you how bad we were. But Washington got a shot. Yeah, they'd have a shot to be in the best spot.
They listen, man.
Especially if Giants keeping Dable. Yeah, Washington's got a chance to hit reset and
Now you're right, man. You're absolutely right. It's going to be interesting. Put it that way. It's going to be interesting no matter what.
All right, I'm going to pull this. I'm going to put it up on the screen here. All right, since I got the one last week, I will draft first. I'm going to do it. I think I want to jump up to the top spot and at least kind of dial in, where I might want to go. So, I'm going to do that. And Tone, you were second. So your choice is 2 or 3.
Give me 3.
All right, perfect. Yeah, put Jason in the middle. That's a good spot for him. All right. Let you guys ready?
Yeah, man, I'm ready.
Look, you talked already about the prop for Christian McCaffrey. I mean, Purdy's still Purdy. Are you really going to want him to try and win a game against Green Bay? Maybe, but you got to ride McCaffrey. I'm going to start off. I actually think 8,800 is not bad for a guy. And I think you can build some lineups around 8,800 and Christian McCaffrey this week.
Dave, can you just repeat what you said and then put that name in for me too? Toad's thinking twice about that number 2 pick. And now Tony can't take that guy. So we did it right.
Yeah, but that's fine. That's fine. It's all good. I don't worry about that. I don't worry about that because I'll get them in the end. No big deal. I'll get somebody in the end. I'm not worried about that at all. I'll just go. Listen, man. I'll just go straight off. Let's start with this. Give me LJ. Give me Lamar. I think this is a Lamar Jackson game. I love CJ Stroud. I love Houston, but there's a juggernaut right now in Baltimore, and Lamar Jackson's on a mission. They're playing at home. Listen, the points are going to be at a premium. So give me Lamar Jackson to start off. And then I got to go with Jason's boy here. I'm going to go Isaiah Pacheco because I look at the Buffalo defense, and the one thing the Buffalo defense can be done is run up against. I've watched it week in and week out, and honestly, it's one of the only weapons they have right now in Kansas City. So, and he's been constant double digits every single week, very consistent. So at 6,400, I'll take him as my number one back.
All right, I'm gonna go back up top and get this guy out of the way too, and go Amon-Ra. The prop market loves him. He's got the top of the board. He's super consistent, week in and week out. 20 points is pretty much locked in. You have an opportunity to go for 30 here. Good matchup against Tampa Bay. 12 catches on 15 targets. In week 6, 124 yards, dropped 33 DK points. Guy's the beast. I don't physically know how he's not a Pro Bowler, but he'll be in my lineup most likely in all or most of my lineups. And Goff's supposed to throw the ball a bunch too. So give me Amon-Ra. I'm going to need to build value outside of these two guys, but DraftKings was too nice by putting McCaffrey and Amon-Ra that cheap because you can still build a lineup with both these guys.
I agree, but Amon-Ra got it back and got all pro. So I think, what would you rather do? Because you ain't going to
how can you get all pro and not make the Pro Bowl? Does that make any literal sense?
Well, it was him and AJ Brown. They kind of flip spots there. No, it doesn't, but let's be honest. He ain't going to Pro Bowl anyway. So
you don't want to go there anyway. Yeah, so.
I don't want to play two-hand touch.
Listen, dodgeball.
I thought I might get a chance to pair Amon-Ra, and I still might. I might be able to use my wild card here, but I'm taking Jared Goff here. The sixth cheapest quarterback on there's only two starters cheaper than him. He threw for 353 when he played Tampa. You can say all you want. And I hope if there's some Tampa fans in here, God bless you. You kicked our ass. That defense stinks. It's atrocious. The middle of the field was open, so open. Jared Goff's not going to let that happen.
Oh, stop. The reason why the middle of the field was open is because that's how they played it.
No, because we didn't run any routes.
Field open all the time.
We didn't run any routes there.
Because they were playing coverage on the guys that were running the wrong routes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's going to be openings. Tampa is 31st in pass for a reason. They're 31st against the pass.
That's okay. And Jared Goff's a stiff.
Well, he threw for 353.
Okay, that's good. That's good. He'll blow it this week. Man, Baker's going to run all over him.
I don't think he is a great quarterback. I can agree with there, but I'll take him this week at 6,300. I think that's good value. And I think I'm trying to decide here between my other ones if I want to use my wild card. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm gonna dive in to what I think is some value this week. I hope actually he plays, but I'm gonna go back to Jaden Reed. They're gonna have to score late. They're gonna be down. They're gonna have to throw. I need some value at quarterback. All right, receiver. I mean,
see, I like my man JT says under in a Lions game. By the way, I like that. Listen, man, I'm telling you, everybody's shoot their shot with the Lions. And that zero blitz with Todd Bowles is going to kick Jared Goff's ass, dude. You watch. They're going to blow that game. You watch. Give me Tampa all day. But go ahead.
All right. I'm going to go with Kate Otten. Bright spot on Tampa Bay. There's a lot of guys emerging, getting, targets. The young kids are getting targets and Palmer. But Kate Otten got 11 targets. Not to say that he's going to get 11 targets in this game. But I think this should be a back and forth affair. I don't see a blowout happening on either side. But getting targets, he's the cheapest that I really want to go at the tight end spot, at 3,500. So hopefully he has a similar game or close or even half the game that he had last week. Get me 8 to 10 points at 3,500, and I think you got a piece of that Tampa Bay offense that there's been some inconsistency with Godwin, Evans, and Otten's been. If you're wrong on Otten, it can still not burn you at 3,500. So I think it's a safe landing spot to get, some ownership in that Tampa Bay side.
I like Kate Otten. He's steady, man. He's steady. I like it.
If he had hands, we would have lost by 40. But yeah.
All right, so let's do this because I'm going to shoot my shot here, and I'm going to go on the other end because I'm going to pick Mike Evans, who I think is going to be the number one receiver when it comes all down. Anybody watch Puka last week? Detroit stinks in the secondary. Okay, so I'm telling you right now, Mike Evans is going to run all over them, and he probably, in my opinion, will be the number one, if not the number two wide receiver this week on this slate. I'm calling it right now, and then I'm going to back him up with Nico Collins, because again, I know CJ Stroud is going against that tough defense, but one thing that never hinders CJ Stroud, and that's consistency throwing to Nico Collins. One thing that you can kind of exploit a little bit with Baltimore is the taller, physical, more receiver across the middle. So give me Nico. I think both of those guys will be very, very good for anybody's lineup this week.
Okay. I'll go with the guy that kind of burned me last week in the prop market. Hope it's not back to Jameson Williams, but I'm going to go with Josh Reynolds. Price is right, 3,700. I need value when I paid up for Amon-Ra and McCaffrey. So I think Reynolds is, a more consistent target guy than Jameson Williams. Williams, the guy over the top. He got 7 targets the last 2 games. At 3,700. It actually went down in price after having a pretty big week last week. So value is needed. Give me Josh Reynolds and what looks to be the best matchup on the board as far as over-unders and or second best. And I don't know if you guys saw, but Tony, your boy, Todd Bowles got hit with the question, from some female reporter and said, how are you preparing for the bad weather in Detroit, after the game? Yeah. And he's like, they play in a dome. There's nothing really to prepare for. It's like, how do you not know? Detroit, it's not like they have a new dome. They've been in a dome for like all their life. I was dying laughing. He handled it like very, very nicely too.
Very professionally. That's that Temple education.
Quiet. You just they play in a dome. You saw your boy Tomlin too, and he's like, what do you think? Are you going to be back here next year? He just out the door, man. That was pretty funny too.
Yeah, he did. He was like, come out.
He's coming back.
I don't even know. I don't know. I didn't blame the reporter for necessarily. All they said was 1 year left, and he started going. They didn't even get to the question.
He knew. He knew.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, at some point they got to ask the question. But yeah, maybe it was a little too soon. All right, I'm like playing with my lineup here because I don't know if I want to. I got to pair Goff up with somebody, and I've already kind of spent some money on C-Mac, and I see Jason has too, but I think I can get there with Amon-Ra. So I'm going to use my wild card and double up, and then I'm going to have to get interesting here, and I'm going to go with it. I'm going to take, I know there's not a lot on the board this week here as far as defenses go, and I think I'm going to take, I'm going to go with the Bills.
Okay. The Bills.
I mean, Kansas City looked a lot better last week, but I mean, I don't think you got any defense that's going to thrive. Give me something there, 3K.
All right, I'm going to go one more value spot here. And, Godwin's a little bit banged up. And Trey Palmer, 3,500. You going for GPPs, 4-game slate. You going some, lesser ownership here. Kid's got some talent. Somehow, some way, hopefully he tweets. There's like a whole thing going around Twitter. Like when he says he tweets out that he's pissed off in the morning, and those are the games that he's gone off. And like it's factual now. Like he's only said it like a couple of weeks this year, and people are now posting it on Twitter and resharing it. So like last week against Philly, he said he woke up pissed off again. He scored a touchdown. I guess he did it in like a week 17 when he had a big week too. So hopefully he wakes up pissed off again and has a decent week for me. You need value. if you're going to go up there and get, McCaffrey and St. Brown, you kind of want to stack some lineups. And you get different with these guys too. So I'll go with Palmer. I'm stacking this Detroit-Tampa Bay game. Cheaper way. I can't get Evans. I already used my wild card here, so I'll go Palmer.
Just quick little, be careful. Detroit doesn't have James Bradbury. Just.
So here's what I have to ask here, and I'm gonna put Jason on the spot. He's taking all these Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but he tells me Baker's a bum. So
I'm not taking Baker. Don't worry.
Who's throwing on the ball?
I'm not taking Baker.
But you're taking his receivers.
I like the dome. I like 48.5. I like the fact that Detroit, is a run D that can stop the run and they can't stop the pass. So Baker will be, I wouldn't be surprised if he throws a pick six. I won't be surprised when Detroit wins. He's played better. And, I want cheap shares. So I'm getting cheap shares, cheap exposure. Evans can play well. Godwin can play well. I don't really see this becoming a big Rachaad White week, but they're still projected to score 21, which is, up there with every other team. And I need cheap players here, so I'm scared of Baltimore.
I understand.
I'm scared of Baltimore's defense, legitimately. So I really don't want too many Texans. There's too many mouths to feed in Green Bay, and I'm, fearful a little bit of San Fran's D as well. So I'm focusing on what I think is the best option, which is the secondary of the Lions.
Great, which means the best option is Baker Mayfield thrown to him. So I love to hear it, man. I love to hear it. So let me go. I'm going to go 2 value plays. I'm actually going to use my double up here, and I'm going to go Kate Otten because I'm going to stack my Tampa Bay Buccaneers at tight end. And then I'm going to go value with the Buffalo Bills, and I'm going to draft Khalil Shakir. And the reason why is because I watched L'Jarius Sneed just completely punk out Tyreek Hill. Okay. I loved every minute of it. And a guy that just runs off the feet, like he's got the biggest attitude in the world. I can't stand the guy anyway. So I'm looking at Stephon Diggs going to be going up against L'Jarius Sneed in the same way. And if there's no Gabe Davis, or even if he's hindered, guess what? Somebody besides Dalton Kincaid has got to get the ball. And the one area you can beat Spagnuolo is deep. So that's why I like Shakir at 3,800. So give me that value this week.
Love it. He was on my radar. And here's the thing. He's better than Gabe Davis.
I agree.
Just sit him out. Just sit Gabe out.
What happened to him?
I don't know. Yeah.
Like all of a sudden he can't play?
Yeah.
I'll get it.
Yep.
Yeah, it's weird. It is definitely weird, man.
But that touchdown Shakir had, amazing.
Yeah. Good play.
And he's a gadget guy. He's a gadget guy. So you're going to see them whip out. I bet you they run a couple jet sweeps as well to Shakir this week, a little bubble screens too.
Yeah. So it's back to me, right?
Yeah,
it is.
I'm going to go with running back is super tough. Outside of McCaffrey, it's a pretty tough matchup for a lot of the running backs here. This guy's in somewhat of a timeshare, but I don't think it's that big of a timeshare. It should be the Gus Edwards show. Lamar Jackson could steal something from him. I believe Melvin Gordon got, dropped.
Garbage.
He's gone. So it's just pretty much Gus and, Justice Hill, not really worried about anybody else now, for Baltimore here. So with that being said, he's cheap. I just need him to fall into the end zone. If he falls into the end zone, we're good. So that's what I'm kind of hoping for at this price tag. I don't think many people are going to run to go play him. Dalvin Cook's still in the mix somewhere. So I wouldn't be shocked if Dalvin goes out there and finds a role in this team, but I would assume it's more of a Justice Hill role, or maybe he's sharing with Justice Hill. So I'll trust Gus for this week, 5,900, and just hope he falls into the end zone. I think he's a better play on FanDuel than DraftKings, so he's not going to be catching too many balls, but if Vegas is right, they're big underdogs, 10-point underdogs, 9.5, somewhere in that on that side of things. So Gus Edwards should be carrying the ball late in this game against the Houston D that I do respect, but I think Lamar, ekes out this win. Tell me, before you take your next pick, I posted something on Twitter. What would you be most shocked by? Texans beating the Ravens, Packers beating the Niners, Baker and Jared Goff each throwing for over 300, or the Bills KC going to OT again?
I would say Green Bay beating San Francisco.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
so you could see the Texans beating the Ravens easier than San Fran going down. Okay.
Well, you know what it is? It's
close, man. Because Jordan Love has been fucking great.
He has, but but I have to go. Is it CJ Stroud more likely or Jordan Love? And I looked at the two defenses, and to me, the Niners are just stacked. And even though I love Baltimore's defense, I just think that they're more susceptible to some of those little plays that CJ Stroud can do. So, and D'Amico Ryans, as a former linebacker, is one hell of a defensive schemer, and he's scheming against a great linebacking core in Baltimore, right? So,
and we've also seen Lamar lose in this spot before in the playoffs, where he struggles and they can't move the ball. They get down early, and then they're kind of lost out there. So I get it.
Yeah, 100%, man. 100%.
Jay, who'd you go with there? Sorry.
Gus Edwards.
Oh, yeah. Yep, the Gus Bus. All right.
Gus Bus.
So it's actually on me for 2, and I'm going to go and get James Cook here. He didn't have a ton of carries against KC the first game, but still got just about 20 points. Because he was big in the passing game, 5 catches for 83 yards. 25 points. So I do expect James Cook looked great last week. They're going to have to, lean on him a little bit and not let Allen throw some wild passes. And with that, I'm going to go with your boy. I got Goff. I got Amon-Ra. He got 2 catches against Tampa the first time. And one of them went to the house. Got 13 points. Jameson Williams.
Okay. Makes sense to me.
Look, he's just a long threat, right? And that's the shot you got against Tampa. Devontae got one. Monroe's not going long. Jameson's the one guy that they can go down the field with.
No, it makes sense, dude. I'm not against that at all. I was even thinking about potentially, double stacking them and getting them both into this lineup, but opted not to. Back to me. Did you guys already pick your quarterbacks?
We did.
Yeah, you guys already picked your quarterback, so I don't have to worry about that. I need a flex, and what do I need on this? Yeah, flex and a defense. Okay, hold on 1 second.
Unprepared. God, check his cheat sheet.
No, I got to make sure who you guys already drafted out here, so I don't draft the same guys.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Yeah, you've already used your wild card.
Yeah, I already used it, so I don't want to make a mistake here and go the wrong route. All right, I'll flip it up. I will go with some tough, man. But I'll do it. I'll go Brandon Ayuk. Yeah, I'll go Ayuk here. It's tough picking San Fran, guys. It really is. Because they got so many weapons. They got Debo. They got Kittle.
This smells like Baker. This smells like Baker.
No, there's no Baker.
I'm looking at your team. It's got to be Baker.
No, there's no Baker coming. Don't worry.
All right.
Yeah, he's probably going Purdy.
Yeah, Purdy's still out there. So it's going to be Purdy.
But, he's got Ayuk and McCaffrey. I know what he's doing. He ain't got the balls to take Baker.
Yeah, no, I don't want Baker.
But he wants his receivers.
I was trying to figure out a way to get, I would prefer probably Debo with Purdy, but, it's tough, man. I can't tell when it's going to be a Debo week or a Kittle week or an Ayuk week. I know pretty much every week it's a McCaffrey week, so it's a tough call here. Who's got the best matchup? It's whoever Shanahan wants to draw up on that play, whoever he wants to get the touchdown to. You can't stop them all. So, it's just, all right, if you're trying, even if they have a game plan, let's get it to, Debo's got the best matchup. If they're now, the defense slides over, then it's going to recycle it, over to Samuel or Ayuk or Kittle, whatever the case may be. Another cool coach talk, too. So I don't know if you saw it, but your boy Shanahan said, he was already preparing for the Packers in the first quarter. I was like,
love
shit.
I love it. Yeah.
That's why he's a stud. That's why he's a stud.
He knows his shit.
He will be better than his dad, if not already. I'm a huge Mike Shanahan.
No ring still, though, right? No ring as a head coach.
But he's going to get one.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
This year could be the year. It's wide open.
Could be, man. Could be.
All right. Who's next?
Before I pick, if anybody wants to get a laugh, when we're done, hop on Twitter and go to NBA Central and check out the thread that was posted at 9:30. DeAndre Ayton is out tonight due to being stuck at home because of the sheets of ice in his neighborhood. And just read the comments are hilarious.
Oh my.
And it's dead serious, bro. He's
Yeah,
out.
Where is he right now? Where is this?
Well, they're in Portland.
Portland.
Oh, he's in Portland?
He's stuck at home because of sheets of ice in his neighborhood. No salt trucks. I guess all that money, my boy can't get a salt truck out there.
You can't even call like an escalator or Uber,
right?
Like
come on.
He's so soft. He is,
man. Wait till you read the comments. I can't even say some of them. They're hilarious, dude. They are hilarious. But I think I'm not even gonna say nothing. But all right, let's go. I'm gonna go and finish this up with a couple Ravens and stack my team here because I'm going to go on the other side of Jason and I'm going to go to Justice Hill effect. And the reason why I'm going to go Justice Hill effect is because I do see him being more incorporated in that passing game. So again, if they stop Gus Bus and they get those little wheel routes, those little screens, they are going to go to Justice Hill, and he's starting to form out a pretty good part of that offense going forward. So at 4,800, I think he's really good, and then I'm going to go Zay Flowers. Listen, I think this is going to be 100% a talent-driven game. It's going to have to do with, multiple screenplays, multiple slants and skinny posts, and that is going to be Zay Flowers. So I think, listen, I love the stack of Jackson, Hill, and Flowers. I think it's sneaky. I don't think a lot of people are going to play it, and I think it's going to perform really well.
Okay.
So, I never get like nice pick, or I was going. I always get like, it's okay.
I like Flowers, and Flowers at 6K is what I like. I think big week. Houston, obviously, you got to beat in the air. You just have to. Even Flacco put up like 20 points last week, so you got to beat him in the air. I like it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Flowers gonna get a ton of targets. All comes down to game script in that game. You guys worried at all about Dalvin Cook? He slides in for Melvin Gordon. He's 4K. I think he's worth a shot in GPPs. I really don't know how they're going to trot him out there, if he's going to go out there and have any type of role, or he's just going to be sitting there. So it's interesting to see what Baltimore does here. But I'm kind of, put into a situation here as far as defense goes. I could have gone with KC, or I can't really go to Green Bay. I would never do that, especially if I have Purdy and McCaffrey and Ayuk. So you guys picked the Bills already. I can't pick the Bills, so I'm going to go with the Texans here. They're sacking. They're playing aggressive. 4 sacks against Cleveland. Earlier this year against Baltimore, Week 1, 4 sacks. They got 50 sacks on the season. And they're playing tough. And it's Lamar. He's not the most accurate quarterback out there. Not to say that he's not the MVP or anything like that, but he could make a mistake here. They're not going to throw the ball for like 350. This could be like a little bit slower pace game. So I think it's okay. And, they did their thing last week, and they got a good coach, like Tony said. So they're playing hungry. I'm not in love with it, but it's defense. You just need one play to kind of go your way, and it fits in my lineup. So I'll go with the Texans.
All right. I'm going to wrap this up. It looks like I can get a good correlation in the Green Bay game here. JT, I was showing his comment, really good point. Listen, 42-21, I'll take that all day from DFS. It's almost like Cowboys, Packers all over 48-32. I do see something that could potentially happen. Packers D played well last week, but it was Dak. Dak definitely looked like he was seeing ghosts early, and then he puts up all those hollow stats. So I do see 49ers having an advantage here on offense. I'll take George Kittle as my tight end. Packers do not guard the tight end well. Did anybody see what
Kittle's a good call too?
You see what
I was looking at that.
Yeah, Ferguson did all right. He led the whole slate in points last week. And then I'm gonna 3,600 left. Gonna have to play the double tight end. That's all right. Little 12 package here, and we'll go with Musgrave.
What's crazy about like DFS, and just go on a tangent for a quick second, but like the worst performing team in all the playoffs, Dak, CD, Ferguson, Pollard, Like, they got smoked.
I know.
They were never in that game. But if you had those 4 people in one lineup, Pollard got you 21. Ferguson, went off. Dak somehow still went for 300 and all those yardage and the touchdowns. Yeah. So you had everything. Like, it's not always about the best play and the team that's going to win. It can come out to like 3/4 of garbage time where they're just sitting in a prevent defense up 20 and they don't really give a shit and they're just letting up all the yardage and you're racking up the points. And, for best ball, I actually faded Dak and CD and all the Dallas Cowboys. And I was like, all right, in the first half, I'm like, my team's going to have a nice path here. And then they come on late and, those Dak stacks where people built with Cowboys. I didn't want to build with Cowboys knowing that I don't see them making it to the Super Bowl. I'm not trying to win week 1. I'm trying to win it all.
Yeah.
But all those Dallas teams who had those Dallas stacks, they all make it through, but they're probably going to lose because, now their team's dead in the second week. So sucked. I ended up losing a lot of my teams, but it is what it is.
Yo, Yvonne, I think last time they played in the playoffs was freezing up in Green Bay, though. So if I remember correctly, it was something, and San Fran upset Aaron Rodgers. And then, did we see, of course, I love seeing Jerry Jones cry. So,
that is the best. That just makes your entire weekend, bro.
Yeah. Yep. All right, Jay, what do you got to round out your team?
Quarterback starts with a B, not named Baker. It's Brock Purdy.
Told you.
Consistent. It's consistent. He's, I don't want to go into it. I'm not saying not to play, Baker Mayfield and GPPs, but, it's a good defense that you want to target. Green Bay is typically in shootouts. They're winning these games by scoring a bunch and letting up a bunch. Even against Carolina, they let up 30. They let up 34 to Baker. They let up 24 to the Giants. KC put 27 on them. They somehow somewhat shut down Detroit to 22, but they're giving up points to not so great of teams. They gave up 34 to Detroit earlier this year. So you put San Fran in front of them, I can see a 30 spot pretty easily here for San Fran. So I got shares of McCaffrey. Covers the ground game, hopefully, and then Purdy covers the air assault. And, give me 25 points for him. I think he's pretty safe. Good cash game quarterback. Tony said it. Goff is somewhat scary. He's Jared Goff. Baker Mayfield can go back to being Baker Mayfield. And then you got, Jordan Love against a really good defense in San Fran. If you don't go down to Purdy for cash, I think you have to go up for either Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen. Probably Josh Allen, just because you have
the running
both. You have the rushing upside and you have the passing attack here. So pretty interesting. Tell me before we get out of here though, who wins these 4 matchups?
Oh wait, he's got to pick.
You still got to pick?
Yeah.
All right.
Who am I picking?
I know we're on a time clock here, so I want to make sure.
No, we're good now. We're good. My boy got a ride home. He just texted me. That's why I was looking at my phone. Cool. So we're good. So let me ask you. Come on, Jay. Who am I picking for my defense?
You got 3,300 left. That
just
will
think
be.
About it. Don't even matter money. Just think about where I'm going.
Tampa Bay defense.
Of course.
Leave it 800 on the board.
I'm taking Tampa Bay when they pick off Jared Goff a couple times and they sack him a couple times and he fumbles the ball.
So you think Tampa wins this game, then, right?
I do. I'm taking Tampa. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't. And it's not. My bigger thing is, and it's just the way the playoffs work. I think Detroit stole a game last week. Matt Stafford, the rock to the ground. They pulled Puka Nacua. They did everything they could to get Detroit to win that game. I just feel like sometimes they needed that monkey off their back. That's the only reason I'm going that way. But the Bucs are live dog, no doubt about it.
Yeah,
for Stafford to put up that game and them not winning, it's pretty shitty on their side. All those field goals, they had to score touchdowns.
You can't.
Goff played clean too, though. Goff played a clean game too, though.
He did, but was he even touched?
No, that was wild. Is Aaron Donald really done? He looked like a guy that was.
They were doubling him and tripling him at most times. Yeah, so they were holding him back, but
yeah.
So Tampa
playing with effort.
Give me the other 3 teams. You got Tampa coming out. I'm assuming San Fran.
Yep.
Baltimore.
Yep.
And Buffalo.
Yeah.
Dave, who do you got?
Yeah, give me Baltimore. Oh, man, I tell you, I really think KC is dangerous this week. It's just, but karma's going to happen. Give me Buffalo.
You think so this time?
When I say karma, this idiot crying to Josh Allen when he won a game and whining about refs and all that stuff from the Bills game when he was complaining about pass interference and or that Kadarius Toney wasn't offsides when he clearly was, and not giving Allen his dap at the end of the game. I think karma comes back. Yeah, give me the Bills. I will say this. It would be really cool to see Green Bay, Detroit. And I just say it because they're such huge old-time rivals. Ain't happening. But I do think it's San Fran, Detroit. I think Green Bay has a puncher's chance, like Tony said. But in the end,
who's got a better chance? The Texans or Green Bay for you?
I only say this. I only say Texans because of Lamar's record in the playoffs, but I still think Baltimore wins. I think this is the year he steps up.
How legendary would it be if LaFleur goes in and mops up Shanahan?
Oh, that's it. That's what I'm saying. And then
that would be legendary.
Yeah.
Nobody's expecting that, dude. Nobody.
And look, Avon's going with Houston. And that's the danger there. This team's playing with house money, and then Tampa as well, house money team. Interesting.
Yeah.
I think honestly, like no bias, all bias aside, right? And I know Jason doesn't like Baker, and everybody knows I'm a Baker guy, and just not just the narrative that was spoken about in that game from Joe Buck and Troy Aikman about him being comfortable, this and that. Just look at him. Like he is
ripping the salt before the game.
Yeah, no, I mean, like seriously, like he's having fun, man. Like he didn't have a puncher's chance in Cleveland, dude. Like honestly,
well, they didn't like him.
Yeah, and he's a gamer. Like he's first one in, last one out, and these guys have gravitated towards him. And that's a big deal, man. That you can't just create that mojo, man. Like Baker's got it going, and if they were going up against somebody else, I would say no. But I am not. I think Dan Campbell's a goof. I think Jared Goff stinks. And at the end of the day, I got already. You guys are gonna like this. Let me ask you this. My son says to me today. So my son's getting into all the stuff now. He's 16. Dave will get to this point, and he texts me from school lunchroom, and he's like, "Dad, Jared Goff's a top 5 quarterback." I was like, "What? Jared Goff's a top 5 quarterback, right?" Now he's a CJ Stroud lover, right? So I said, "Bro," I'm like, "He's not even top 10." He's like, "You're crazy. He's definitely." I was like, "Dude, stop going by the stats. I'm telling you something right now. He will get exposed." Like that's the thing. You're looking at stats. He will get exposed, and I think that's what happens this week. And I think Baker plays better than him. I really do, and I think they come out victorious.
So this is the way, and I agree. It's possible letdown being your first playoff victory in 33 years or 32 years, whatever, since '91. So it's possible.
Was that Wayne Fontenot?
It Wayne Fonts, yeah, but yeah. Right.
No, I think it's Fontenot, right? Isn't that the last name? Wasn't it Fontenot?
You guys got me confused now, but
yeah.
I think the line.
Roddy picked the quarterback.
Yeah, well, so they beat Dallas. They beat Troy Aikman, and then they went to Washington and lost the NFC Championship. I just watched the Barry Sanders series on Amazon, by the way. So that's it was great.
I gotta watch that.
Yeah.
The thing about Detroit, I'll say though, is I think they're very balanced though. So they have a really good run game. They have 2 backs that they're both effective when they get the touches, and they're both hungry and they're ready to go. They're energized. It's not like you're just putting one guy into the ground and running him, 30 times in the game. So that split between Gibbs and Montgomery actually works out. They're kind of, thunder and lightning, whatever the hell you want to call it. And they have a really good run defense too. So they have to me, they have more than Tampa Bay has. The Goff versus Baker thing, it's, it is what it is. You can argue both sides. Goff played a clean game. He stands tall in the pocket. He can make most of the throws. He's not going to be running around and do anything crazy. But I think the opposite, though. I think Detroit moves forward here. I don't know. I think this might be their last game that they move forward, but I think they move forward here. I could see an upset in either Baltimore or San Fran. I can see in any of these games, but I wouldn't be shocked if those games play close.
Yeah.
Green Bay's got a lot of momentum. They're playing well, and Love is not turning over the ball. If Purdy's not like this miracle worker, he's just working the system. If he has a bad player or two, things can go the wrong way for San Fran.
Yeah.
I think San Fran wins too. I think Baltimore wins. I think this is Lamar's year. I didn't like seeing Zay Flowers saying he's playing this week. Like, I didn't even know he was like potentially hurt. I thought everything was good with Zay Flowers. He's rested, but I guess, the calf maybe is a situation. He was a limited participant on Tuesday, but I just hope it's not like an Amari Cooper type thing and you go out there and he's like hobbled, after the first quarter, after his first catch, something like that. So as long as Baltimore stays healthy, I think they win as well. And then the tough one for me is the KC and Buffalo, because Buffalo's looked like shit at times. KC's looked bad at times. Buffalo was banged up on defense. So I think similar to Dave, like KC probably is the better team, but that road, that one play where they called them the offsides, that's the reason why they're not playing in Buffalo. Mm-hmm. That could be the difference maker, but I just hope that game, however it comes down, nobody's complaining about the refs and that kind of situation. Because you saw that Josh Allen play the other day, right? Like, he goes to hesitate to potentially slide. They don't, tackle him, and he just runs through. And then, a couple plays later, a quarter later, he goes to slide now, and they hit him lightly, and they call a penalty on him. So it's like, it's so tough, man. You're running at full speed, and somebody else is running that. It's going to be a tough tackle, and then he slides last second. What do you do? And then now he fakes the slide. He kind of hesitates.
He
didn't fake it, but he slowed down. Like,
watch Kenny Pickett in college. That's why they made a rule. Kenny Pickett did in college. He actually went down and drug his knee and didn't touch and got back up. Listen.
No, but you know why? If you're running at full, if you're running full speed and you see Josh Allen running, he might like to slow down a little bit. You might pull up and not just try to like level him, and now you're like hesitating. Now you have a 250-pound guy who's going to run through an arm tackle now at that point. So it's tough, man. I mean, all I'm saying is it's tough on a defense with these quarterbacks. You can't touch them,
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
Yeah, I don't want that to be, everybody talking about this shit on Monday where it's like Mahomes got touched or Allen got touched and it was a big penalty this way and that way. It's really hard, man, at this point how to judge these guys because they don't even call the play when Mahomes got his helmet cracked. But like if you touch him the wrong way on like a sack that's not a sack, it's a roughing the passer type shit. So like it's so in between. I don't know. It's just annoying to watch.
I just wanted to counter the one point of Buffalo getting the home game because that call last year, Kansas City was home because Buffalo and Cincinnati didn't play a game. Yeah. The winner of that game would have got home field advantage. So, I mean, KC's got a lot of breaks along the way. A lot.
Yeah, they don't need any more. I'm with you on that.
Yeah. But, Tone, I think that we got the games picked. We got the players picked. We got a lot going on. The one thing I'll close out with is these spreads are bigger than they were even last weekend. And usually that's wild for a divisional round. They kind of get a little tighter, the tightest game being the Buffalo KC game. But I think Tony, Jason, the audience is right. There's going to be an upset out there. There's going to be one for sure. The road team is winning this weekend. So, wherever you want to go, whatever you want to line up on, I know Tony's feeling good about Tampa. Stick with it because somebody's coming out with a dub on the road.
I'll say this, man. So as Jason was talking and you were talking, I was looking for something, right? I was looking for something and I found it. This is fuel the Tampa Bay narrative. Okay. Number one, everybody forgets the diamond that they have up the middle. Okay. They forget about Vita Vea. They forget about Levante David. They forget about the beast on Antonio Winfield Jr. Right. So they have three guys that are game changers on defense. But here's the best part. And Dave, again, Gardner Johnson can't keep his mouth shut. Okay. He's already given billboard material. Okay. Right after the divisional round set up, he says, This group is one of the better groups. He's talking about Godwin and Evans. We've faced all year. Besides that Tampa group, Gardner Johnson said, if you actually gave them a good quarterback, that's a great group.
Oh my God.
Come on, bro.
And he doesn't even play full time.
Come on.
They sub him in and out. He's not even a star for them. Oh. And he's running his mouth. Oh.
Yep. Yeah. And Baker says, I don't think he's really watched film because he mentioned Russell Gage. We love Russell, but he hasn't played a snap this year for us. He must be going off preseason stuff the media was talking about, but he didn't play our first game, so I'm excited to see him. He says, I think he's a really good player. He's been for a while. He's been an impactful guy. He's a good player, but just got to do a little more film study. So let me tell you something. You don't need to give Baker any more billboard material. So here you go. There you go. Right there, peeps. Put it on the money line right now.
Yeah, and my kids actually you talk about your kid. My one kid loves Baker. He says he's got that dog in him because when he goes and runs hard, he's not going to go out of bounds. He's coming for your chin. He's coming for your chest. Baker, you give him that little extra motivation. It's going to be fun to watch.
I love it, man. Yeah, that's just, it's just funny, though, honestly. Like, are these guys stupid? Like, why? Like, they just keep talking and talking and talking. Like, why?
Well, you know the answer. Yeah,
I know.
I'm gonna have to have a cocktail before Sirius on Saturday because me and Tony are doing Sirius on Saturday from 11 to 1. I'm gonna fight this Baker talk for 2 hours straight on Saturday night. I just looked at the schedule. I was like hoping the Buck game was on Saturday. So
Sunday,
yeah, it's Sunday, so I'm gonna have to hear this shit for 2 hours on Saturday. So
I'm gonna bring you up.
I guess I gotta prepare. I got to prepare some Baker sucks stats. It should be pretty easy though. It should be like every other game besides last game. We can just look through all those. Carolina.
Baker has a power
137 against Carolina. Let's keep on saying that every time Tony talks them up.
That's okay. Everybody's allowed to have a bad game. At the end of the day, they won the game. A win's a win, man. A win's a win. But listen, man, let's get final thoughts, man. Dave, what we got final thoughts, brother?
Hey, I'm so pumped up for this weekend of football. Last weekend, I don't want to say it was not so great, but we sat there and watched a couple blowouts, and then Sunday came and we started to see some upsets. And then we had the really good Lions-Rams game. I think this weekend we're going to have 4 really quality games. When you got guys like C.J. Stroud, Jordan Love, even Baker, as we're talking, these aren't bums that have made it to this round. These are good players. I think we're going to see a lot of quality football.
Be careful.
I don't think Goff is very good. I would probably put him around 12th.
That's what I said. I said 12 to 15 is where I put him.
Hold on, let me ask Dave a question. You had the opportunity to start next. You couldn't pick Jalen Hurts. You either pick Jared Goff or Baker Mayfield to run the Eagles' offense. You take Goff or Mayfield?
I might take. They're both number 1 picks, so it's not like you got the talent pack. I'm just thinking of age, but it's not that big of a difference. It's by a year or two.
I don't see age, like where they're at right now in their career. It's not like a forever statement, and don't base it off the offense.
I'll take Baker.
Don't base it on the offense so that you're running this like Jalen Hurts type offense. I'm just talking about like
Baker.
Yeah,
Baker. I can rally around Baker. That's the thing. Like I feel like he has the personality that you can, like when he played for the Rams for that one day last year. I mean, they loved him. They didn't even know him for 5 minutes, and he even if something went bad with Baker, he'd sit there and coach, and he's a guy you want on your team. I think his personality is infectious. Okay. He's out there
great backup. Great backup. I think Baker would be a great backup for any team. He's got that right mentality. He's jumping around.
Before this year, I would say that, but I think he's proved his worth this year, man. Let's not forget, man, he had to back up Tom Brady, meaning he came in after Tom Brady played bad or not, doesn't matter. He had to come in and follow Tom Brady. Nobody expected Baker Mayfield to be good. Nobody. And he showed, man, he's reinvented himself.
They didn't even give him the job.
I know. They
were talking about who?
Remember?
Was it Mike Glennon? It was someone. They're like,
Mike.
No. It was Kyle Trask. It was the kid, the Florida kid that was a rookie the same year as Fields and them. They said he's got to beat him. He beat him in the first week.
Dude, I just can't. I just
so just for the fun of the show, I'm gonna clue you in. I'm going to go once after this show, but prior to Saturday show, I'm going to find out the best prop for 2 Baker interceptions. I know you like doing a 2 interception prop. I'm definitely going to throw a couple $. On that.
And I'm going to throw one on Jared Goff 2 interception prop too. How's that?
There we go. I like that. That actually works for me, man.
All right, take us home.
All right, brother. Well, look, man, it's been a great show as always. Always fun. Everybody joining in, we really appreciate it. I takedowns 78, Ed, JT, everybody get my back from the Philly love. I appreciate it. That's always appreciated. And again, man, WinDailySports.com where you find us. So make sure you're hopping in that Discord because, again, I don't like to give him a lot of credit because he doesn't give me any credit. But Jason is killing it when it comes to his ladder bets, and he's hitting things every single day, man. You got to get in there. I'm not kidding. And I know my man Dave, he's doing the same thing. He loves him some game bets. I don't bet games. I do SGPs, and I've been cold as hell. Keegan Murray, half a rebound, man. That's all I freaking need. I needed one goddamn rebound. He couldn't get it. But it happens. And that's why SGPs are live and die, man. But we have some fun. But as always, make sure you follow WinDailySports.com. Make sure you like and subscribing. Make sure you catch us on Saturday. Me and Jason will be live on Sears from 11 to 1. Make sure you're checking out the articles right now. My man Rich just dropped a NHL article. Those guys have been hitting. Jared's been hitting NHL prize picks every day. There's a ton of stuff going on. Make sure you pop in Discord and you'll find out. So as we always say here, and I'll give love to Baker, but now as we say here, as always, everybody stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll catch you back here.